Hello students, welcome back to our channel Deeplogy. I hope you guys have watched the part 1 and part 2 video of the chapter The Last Lesson of CBSE Flamingo class 10, and this is the part 3 video which is the last part of the chapter. Okay, I hope you guys are excited to watch this, and let's start, है ना? Right, and this will be the continuation. Okay, and we saw that M. Hamel was explaining the hidden beautiness of the French language, and let's see what happens next. French language is the beautiful language in the world, the clearest, the most logical, that we must guard it among us and never forget it. Because when a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. Means the M. Hamel is explaining that it is the most wonderful and beautiful language in the world, and it is most clearest, means anyone can learn in a very easy way, and most logical, which is very practically we can learn, like that type of language it is. And we should protect our mother language, mother tongue, which is here the French language. We should guard it, like he's telling some of the importance of the mother tongue here. Okay, and he's also explaining that if we are enslaved in the prison, the only thing you can come out by the help of key. And the key here, it acts like a French language. That much importance we have to give to our mother tongue, that is French language here. And it has so much of importance in our life. He's explaining now. Then he opened a grammar book and read us our lesson. I was amazed to see how well I understood it. All he said seemed so easy, so easy. I think too that I had never listened so carefully, and that he had never explained everything with so much patience. Here our little Franz, who is our narrator, is explaining, after explaining these all things, M. Hamel, what he is doing right now. So little Franz is telling that M. Hamel is opening the grammar book, and now he is teaching the French grammar. French grammar he is teaching. And on that day he was very amazed to see that he can understood the French grammar in a very easy, in a very fluent way. Here that he is explaining that is because of two reasons. The first reason, he listened the class on that day in a very careful way. Carefully he listened the class, so he is appreciating himself. Okay. Then the second reason is M. Hamel is teaching French grammar on that day in a very beautiful way that anyone can understand in a very easy way, and with a lot of patience he is teaching. And the second thing why he understood all that lesson, he appreciating the M. Hamel, who is his teacher also in this paragraph. Okay, and it seemed almost as if the poor man wanted to give us all he knew before going away, and to put it all into our heads at one stroke. Means he is explaining that, Franz is explaining that M. Hamel, his teacher, who is his French grammar teacher, it was the last day to teach the French language in their mother tongue. It was last day because from tomorrow onwards they have to learn the German language. So it was the last day, and M. Hamel was trying his best to give all his knowledge to all the students over there at one go, at one shot, at one stroke. He want to give what at all he know, he want to transfer into the heads of his students, that he is explaining. After the grammar we had a lesson in writing that day. M. Hamel had a new copies for us written in a beautiful round hand, France Alsace, France Alsace. They looked like a little flags floating everywhere in the schoolroom, hung from the rod at the top of her desk. Means he's telling that on that day he finished the grammar class now. Means M. Hamel finished the grammar class, what he was teaching, and now he distributed all the beautiful copies. Why the little Francis is mentioning it has beautiful copies? Because in that copy there was a written in a very good handwriting. Round hand means good handwriting. What it has written, that is France Alsace, France, Alsace, है ना? And that was looking like a small flags, which was all distributed to all the students, and that was kept in all the desk, and it is looking like some of the flags are floating in the desk, and it has been hung from the rod at the top of our all the desk. It is looking like so beautiful on that day. Next, you ought to have seen how everyone set to work and how quiet it was. The only sound was the scratching of the pens over the paper. And generally, we have noticed in the part 2 video that generally the school was not silent. It was so disturbing and so screaming. But on that day, which is the last day to teach the French language in the classroom, it was so quiet. And the only sound which we were hearing, that was writing sound. So writing, they have mentioned like the scratching of the pens over the paper, like that they have mentioned. Okay, next. Once some beetles flew in, but nobody paid any attention to them, not even the littlest ones, who worked right on tracing their fish hooks, as if that was French too. On the roof, the pigeons were cooed very low, and I thought to myself, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? Okay. After these all the seeing the handwriting, beautiful flags, like looking copies over the desk, there was some sound. What is that sound? That beetles sound. Beetles came into the classroom on that day, but nobody paid attention to see those all the beetles. They were concentrated like how we concentrate when we are fishing now. We concentrate at the fish hook. क्योंकि did we got the fish or did we not, like that. Even there was some little children over there in the classroom, but they also did not paid any attention to these all the things. They have paid their 100% concentration over the class, that is French language class. And after that, pigeons cooed. Here the little Franz is expressing that and thinking himself that even pigeons from tomorrow, they have to sing in a German, like that he is questioning himself. Whenever I looked up from my writing, I saw young Hamel sitting motionless in his chair and gazing first at one thing, then at other, as if he wanted to fix in his mind just how everything looked in that little school room. Means there was some writing things they have given, some work was given from by the Hamel. Now all the students were writing. While writing, our later Franz has looked up and saw the Hamel. Hamel looked like so stunned, and he was like motionless, and he was like staring at one things and then staring at like other things. For example, if you take, I am continuously staring at the chair which was present in the classroom, and after staring so much while, then he started to stare his eyes over the benches, like that. Why he is doing like that? Because it was the last day to come to the classroom and to teach, and he was missing it from tomorrow, है ना? Fancy, for 40 years he had been there in the same place with his garden outside the window and his class in front of him. Means he will miss, obviously, क्योंकि he had worked for 40 years continuously in that classroom, and he taught the French grammar in a very beautiful way to all the batches, and now he can't teach from tomorrow, है ना? And he has been working there for 40 years in that same place, and he will miss all the students over there in front of him, and that ruler and the garden which was outside the school, he is obviously missing, है ना? That is explained by the little Franz now. Been worn smooth, the walnut trees in the garden were taller, and the hopevine that he had planted himself twined about the windows to the roof. Means the difference between the first day when he entered his career as a teacher in the France and the now the present day after a service of 40 years, he the France who is our narrator, the little boy, is expressing the difference right now. Okay, there was a same person who is M. Hamel is been teaching for 40 years, and there was a school, and in front of that there was a garden over there, and that is also same. The difference is the desk and the benches were in the classroom was being smooth, means they have been used now, like after using some of the become smooth, means worn like that. And the walnut tree there was in a garden, but that had become taller right now. And when he entered his career, he has planted the hope vine tree, and that has become taller also to the up to the windows to the roof. He is expressing like that. Next, how it must have broken his heart to leave it all. Poor man, to hear his sister moving about in the room above, packing their trunks, for they must leave the country the next day. Means the narrator is saying that the France is saying that nothing but he's saying that he have to leave the country tomorrow. From tomorrow, the German teacher will come to the classroom and they will teach the German right now. You know, he is in the classroom. The M. Hamel is in the classroom, and above the classroom there was a another room. There, the M. Hamel's sister was packing all their luggage to move to the next country, to leave that country right now. For that purpose, in that very sad moment, he is expressing that what he must have been feeling, that his heart has been broken right now, like that. Okay, but he had the courage to hear every lesson to the very last. After the writing, we had a lesson in the history, and then the babies chanted their ba, bb, bo, boo. Means he has his courage to do that. Like Hamel has the courage to do that. And after these all things, there was a history lesson. After this writing done by the France, which was given by the M. Hamel, there was a history class. In that time, the babies were there. In that time, the babies chanted that, like ba, b, bo, bu, like that. And that was expressing like this. Down there at the back of the room, old Hauser had put on his spectacles and, holding his primer in both hands, spelled the letters with them. Means old Hauser was feeling so sad, and primer is nothing but textbook like that, old textbook like that, and he's holding that textbook in the hands, and he's spelling those all the letters which was chanted by the babies, and he's spelling those things, and he was very sad and emotion. You could see that he too was crying. His voice trembled with emotion, and it was so funny to hear him that we all wanted to laugh and cry. How well I remembered it, that last lesson. Means the France is expressing that even at this much moment, he is getting laugh by seeing the emotions was given by old Hauser. Like that he is expressing. All at once the church clock struck 12, then the angels. At the same moment, the trumpets of the Persians returning from drill sounded under our windows. Young Hamel stood up, very pale, in his chair. I never saw him look so tall. Means the church clock will be there now. That has become now to the 12 right now. And the angelus means the prayer. The prayer was going on, and that at the same time the drums like trumpets was giving by the Persians, and the drill was over right now, and that sound was heard by M. Hamel right now, and he heard the lesson. After he heard the lessons, the M. Hamel has stood up with a very pale, means he's very like no expression like that. He is like blank like that, and he stood up from his chair, and he was looking so tall that France has never seen M. Hamel this much tall, like that he was looking. Next, my friends said I, but something choked him. He could not go on. Then he turned to the back blackboard, took a piece of chalk, and bearing on with all his might, he wrote as large as he could. We were love friends. Then he stopped and leaned his head against the wall, and without a word, he made a gesture to us with his hand. School is dismissed. You may go. Means here the Franz is expressing the feeling of the Hamel that it was the last day to teach the French language, French grammar language, you know, and he was so emotional and he could not speak a word. For that purpose, he tried to speak like I, but he could not do that. So what he did, he turned into the blackboard and took a piece of chalk, and with all his emotions he wrote in a very big letters that Vive le France, means the meaning of that is long live France. Okay, then without saying a word, he is very emotional. He did not said any word, and he made a gesture by his hand that school is dismissed and you may go, like that he told. And this was a chapter. We ended this chapter, we finally completed. And read the chapter from the textbook at once, and you will be in a very perfect way right now. And let's meet you in the next lesson. Subscribe to Deeplogy channel. Thank you.